welcome everybody to the disaster opening of the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast because my computer froze up. The video never played. I don't know what happened. That might have been the worst opening of the show ever. However, I still remain Eric.
Wait.
What?
Okay.
I'm not even introducing myself. Why have you put us in the woods?
We're completely lost right now. What am I supposed to be doing?
No. His background, instead of the New Day background,
Yes, I'm in the
it's
woods.
just pictures of trees in the woods.
Because I returned from the forest, so I needed to make sure that
What were you doing in the forest? What were you doing in the forest? Dogging?
I was becoming one with
Having
myself.
sex in the forest?
I was becoming one with myself, man.
You were being off alone.
I had to find my inner peace. That's what I had to do.
Oh.
Are you going to introduce yourself?
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
I'm Marcus the grand finale. And we're finally back doing the audio feed because this show is best heard, not seen.
Yes, and now this show will be available in Spotify, iTunes, and now Amazon Music, aka /Audible in the podcast section. I'm very excited about that. But
really? We haven't been in any of those?
We haven't been in Amazon. Amazon is the new location. However, I'm very excited about something that I have always wanted to do, but I have never been able to do. But thanks to Lord Manny Hayes, I am able to do this. So, gentlemen, I would like to throw this to our sponsor, and here we go.
The Sharpshooters.
And that was the read done by my wife. And I figured that it was a ladies' night podcast. And to follow with the theme of myself of not doing much, I had my wife read it for me. Marcus and Manny, since you guys interrupted the read, you had questions. Marcus, I saw your hand first. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Now what? Could they not hear us while the read was going on?
Oh, no, they heard you because you guys weren't muted.
Why did you tell me I got to shut up?
Because this is what you do. If I was reading, you would have cut me off too.
I don't.
Nope. You've just proven to us that once again. Thank you, Shantae, for reading that. But Eric, you've just proved you can't read.
You know, actually, my take that I did was really well, and I was very proud of my take. But then when I started looking at the context of our sponsor, and I was like, hey, this is ladies' night. Why not give Sharpie Wife an opportunity to read the read? Because it would go hand in hand, and it would be different from what you and Marcus do, because it's two males reading the read. Let a female read the read, and I thought it was wonderful. AJ Styles by Rue Pound to the Sharpie Wife for reading that opening for us.
Now you're forcing me to do it.
Well, I did have Marcus scream during the last read.
But I have a question as well. My main question is, you already told her you have one take, huh?
No, we did multiple takes on this.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No.
Because
you only get one shot.
It's because it's wordy, isn't it?
It's because it's wordy, but then alternatively, it's a word that tripped everybody up after you've read everything else. It's like, oh, here come this word out the blue. So yeah, and then one time
table talk, and I'm like,
And then one time she said, she didn't say podcast, she said something else, and it was like, oh wow, this is not what the word was. So yeah, I became Ike Turner in the studio. Sing it again, anime. That's what I became. That's what I became right there. But if you
Man, what's
guys,
love gonna do it?
but if you guys would like to sponsor our show, we would love for you guys to reach out to either Lord Manny Hayes or send an email to the Sharpshooters. That's dasharpshooters@gmail.com, and we'll take all endorsements as long as we respect the product. And shout out.
No. No.
No,
I will
no,
sell my
I
soul
you know,
if you want to buy. If you want to advertise,
I
even
am
if it,
Kataka.
I will sell my soul for some money.
Wow. You guys are two prostitutes. Willing to sell your soul.
Eric, we do this for
Screenshot
free.
up though, right?
Eric,
Yeah.
we are working for free.
I want to say,
Screenshot
shout
up
out,
though, right?
shout out to El Luchador. Pop. The flagship show
Pop,
is back,
pop.
baby. It feels good to be back. I haven't been behind the microphone. What have I missed? I know you guys resurrected me during one of your episodes.
You've been on like several shows since you've been resurrected.
I know, but I haven't been at the helm of hosting the show. I mean, this is, as you can see, it's not an Eric show unless I mess up the opening, pop off a read for you guys that you guys were not ready for, that I might play at the end of the show, just because, you know what, why not give the sponsor a double bite of the apple, and maybe you guys will.
What?
Maybe you should mute us when you do things like that.
I thought you guys
Yeah,
would be
because I didn't know
quiet.
we were muted.
I thought you guys would be quiet. I mean,
I thought you would mute us like you do the intro when
And I thought you were going to read it yourself.
you guys were planning to interrupt me, weren't you?
No.
No.
Well, needless to say. How
I
are
don't
you
know
doing,
why you're so
Marcus?
paranoid.
How are you doing today, Marcus?
I am fantastic. This is 46 hour of me not eating real food and juicing, and I'm fiending, but it's fine, good.
Have you had any benefits from your juicing?
Why would there be benefits in 2 days?
So what are you doing? Having raging diarrhea?
I mean, yeah, I'm very.
No. My bowel movements have been consistently casual and normal.
Casual?
Nothing crazy is going on. Yeah.
Excuse
Very
me, sir.
casual.
Can I have the casual bowel movement today? You sure you don't
Very
want the
casual.
aggressive bowel movement? No, I would like the casual bowel movement today.
No, he's spraying out that chocolate rain.
Everything's been going well. It's been going well, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen by the end of this. At the end of a week or 2 weeks of this, I have all the stuff I need. I made this really dope one yesterday. I added, some red pepper in there, gave it the spice, that I like. Bang! It was amazing. It was with carrots.
So, are we gonna get a juicing with the grand finale show in the foreseeable future?
No,
Okay.
no, you're not.
Manny, how about yourself? How have you been?
I've wasted a lot of time today
Doing what?
doing this, and I didn't really want to do it, but I found it and I started doing it. I've spent way too much money on this.
That's wait, what are you doing
Manny,
with
what
the
the hell
sticker
is that?
collection?
What are you doing? Are you?
It's a sticker book. It's a sticker book. Spent way too much time on this today.
Wait! I didn't answer. You didn't say
Man, I'm so confused right now.
Do you collect the stickers? Or are you giving out the stickers? What are you doing?
No, you buy these stickers. So I have loads of doubles now.
Wow. And just when I thought this show could be even more nerdier for wrestling fans, we get.
You know what the worst part was? I was considering recording myself doing it.
I just want to point out, and the greatest thing about that, Manny, I think somebody would appreciate that because, A, I've never heard of the Road to WrestleMania sticker book. I don't know if we have that into the States.
It actually came out in the UK yesterday.
And Manny, my question for you is how much does a pack of stickers cost?
£1.
Okay.
And how many packets did you think I bought?
Manny, I don't want to put your personal
20. 20.
25. Good job, Manny.
And
Good
Manny,
job. I can't wait to see the episode of you just putting stickers on shit. And I will put that on and I will go to sleep today and it will be our highest viewed show. I know it.
No, I've actually researched it and I've done because I do other sticker things because it helps with the mental health. Because it's therapeutic.
It's like coloring in a coloring book.
There's a lot of channels that do it and they get loads of views.
No, it's like one of the things because I do bullet journaling, but I don't do the pretty and artistic bullet journaling. But if you look at the bullet journal videos, man, it's very tranquil. Like people drawing ribbons and putting washi tape and stuff. I'm like, I ain't doing all that, but try to stay organized when you do the shows. Well, Marcus, you're juicing. Manny's doing stickers, but we're here to talk about professional wrestling, and I think we need to dive right in and talk about Friday
He
Night
made that sound
Smackdown.
like we're doing some variation of drugs.
Juicing the stickers, baby.
Manny, you doing them stickers.
Tune
Clean up my veins. Clean up my veins.
Tune in on Tuesday and Thursday to see the side effects of doing stickers and doing juicing by the Untitled Manny and Marcus show.
Honestly, doing stickers sound like it should be a drug, though, right? I'm sure that's some slang at one point. Hey, man, you got those stickers?
Like Marcus has been juicing. like that.
But you
I'm
know,
juicing, baby.
the drug that is probably the drug that is so addictive, that's the drug of power. And Roman Reigns is that individual who's addicted to power right now. And he started off Friday Night Smackdown with confronting the man who screwed him over last week, Mr. Adam Pierce, with the clever, I get you to sign this contract, but you're going to fight Kevin Owens. Marcus, how did you feel about Roman Reigns' confrontation? I'm stumbling, baby, because I'm so excited, of Adam Pierce.
I thought it was well, anytime Pierce is in there with Roman, it's always the most stressful thing to ever watch. Because it looks like a man is going to kill a man every single time. And you see Paul Heyman is like, you're going to do it today, aren't you? Like in the background looking like he's about to commit murder. And the fact that Paul Heyman jumped up and told, my favorite part of the segment is when he said, I'm from New York and I'll whoop your ass. And I was like, ow! But I enjoyed the hell out of this segment.
The bit for me was when he went, I might just go home. My back's been hurting. I've been carrying this. And I believed him. I was like, yeah, you have been carrying SmackDown since November.
Honestly, when Roman Reigns was going through all of his ailments of why he is the true tribal chief and the head of the table, because he goes, whatever he's feeling, he goes through his bum ankle, his scab, but when he was carrying the whole company on his back, he was tired. He was tired.
All right. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Due to our political climate and change that we are in right now, Joe Biden was sworn in as president, and WWE had a strict policy of not, bringing up the pandemic. But since Joe Biden has been president, they have brought up the pandemic twice on TV, with Drew McIntyre going, I've got COVID, almost died, I'm good, whatever. And then you have Roman Reigns talking about it took a damn pandemic to get me on TV. Do you think the policy has changed now that the political office has changed?
Yes, because, Vince didn't want to upset Donald Trump. It makes sense. I mean, damn it, Linda was in his cabinet at one point. But sticking with the segment, Manny, do you agree with Adam Pierce that you're not going to let Paul Heyman talk down to you, and you would have confronted Paul Heyman also?
Yeah, I would confront Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's a little bit easier to tackle, whereas, you confront Roman Reigns, you know you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to talk shit. It's one thing for Mike Tyson to talk shit to me, and I go, "You right, Mike? I'm a piece of shit. You eat my children." Okay, I'm fine with that. But it's another thing for Don King to talk shit to me. And I'm gonna beat his ass.
The greatest thing about this, though, this was like the main event that I wanted, but I never knew that I wanted, because when you went later on to the show, and Roman is sitting in the most comfortable chair that chair looks so comfortable. And Paul Heyman is trying to tell him, hey, I read your mind. I felt right into the player. And Roman's like, no, you got to be a man, Paul. You got to fight this man.
I don't roll with no punks.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't roll with no punks. And I was like, damn, that's some real street shit right there. And I'm like, Paul, man. I still didn't believe him, though. I still didn't believe him.
No, I didn't
believe
him.
I love just when Roman's backstage, you see the sheer frustration in his face sometimes. I forget it was when he had that charcuterie board and fruit plate. I've never seen disgust in a man's face, and Roman puts that face on so well.
Yeah,
Roman is the king of facial expressions. The entire time he was looking through that contract at the beginning of last week's show, of him just going like that, I believed everything. I read what he was reading. That's how good it was. What are you going to say, Eric? I'm sorry.
So, it ended up with the main event. First of all, Paul Heyman came out in his suit. Adam Pierce came out in his suit. And I'm like, these men are not here to fight. They're here to sign contracts. I was a little bit disappointed. Of course, Roman got involved. Then Kevin Owens got involved. Marcus, did you feel this was a solid ending to what they told at the beginning of the show? did you feel satisfied from the opening to the close of that show?
I feel like it worked really well. It got me really pumped, and it felt like the go-home show to the Royal Rumble, to be honest.
Yeah,
like, we're going into it. Felt like the end, like Royal Rumble Sunday, right? Because the way, the pull apart, which is not overused in WWE, unlike some companies. AEW. Oh, they did the pull apart. He popped up powerbomb through the table. I went, oh shit, and everything. And then, the whole Kevin Owens being in his car pulling the sharpshooters. And the way we do this show, when you're Marcus or the Diz man, sitting in your car, go record a message for somebody.
Oh, Wes, don't forget about Wes. Wes did it too.
Wes did it too.
Yep.
Wes was actually driving whilst doing it.
Well, let's just point out, Wes is also the only man that's taken us into 2 shopping centers. We've been into Walmart twice with Wes.
My only issue with the whole show, with the storyline, was Kevin Owens in that parking lot in his car. He was clearly outside the arena. Like, I don't know where else could he have been? Like, it literally looked like he was outside Tropicana Field.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like when FTR just drives up into Daly's place in AEW when they first showed up. It's like, hey, we're here, guys. Manny.
No, but I don't understand the part. Does someone call him to tell him, you know what, you need to shoot a promo inside your car?
Well, I think that's the one thing that they're trying to tell us because, they pointed out that Kevin Owens was barred from the arena for whatever reason.
Yeah, barred.
Roman Reigns said, I told him he couldn't come to work. Told him I can't come to work.
Okay, if I tell you can't come to work, and I tell you, oh, shoot a promo. Are you going to shoot a promo? No.
Well, see,
unless you send a film crew to me, I am not doing shit.
Manny, I believe this is where they respected the wishes of the tribal chief, but at the same time, they know they have a product to sell. So some overzealous producer who's probably unemployed now contacted Kevin Owens and said, hey, Kevin, I know Roman said you can't be on the show, but we still need to have a certain presence on the show. Did you see what Drew McIntyre did with his phone when he had COVID? We need you to do the same thing. We just say that you have Roman instead of COVID. Manny, did you like the conclusion of the show?
I did, but I don't like when they keep making Kevin Owens look strong, knowing full well he's going to get destroyed in the actual match.
Well, you have to sell it. You got to sell it 3rd time. Go ahead.
Well, El Luchador has said, I hope AEW pays you so the hater has to say nice stuff about them. But the last person to actually take a shot at AEW in the last 5 minutes was actually Marcus.
Yeah, Eric hasn't said anything about AEW
I'm going to let you guys know, because I'm saving the Wednesday Night Wars for last. That's what I'm saving for. Okay. That's what we're closing the show out with, the Wednesday Night Wars. I can't even get it out.
The Wizzies. The conclusion coming up soon, actually.
Maybe.
About like Roman and Kevin Owens. I'm getting behind the story. It was just a good night for them. Everybody did play well. Paul Heyman slipped on the steps. I really enjoyed that for whatever reason. I really at first
he didn't slip. He jumped off the steps.
The first time I thought he really slipped. I went, oh no! I started laughing, and then I was like, oh, this dude is selling shit.
But no one falls on the first step.
No, you always fall on that 3rd or 4th step. It's that 3rd or 4th one. It's that tricky step in the middle. But gentlemen,
you don't know how much sweat Bailey and Bianca left on that thing.
Well, Mark, it's funny that you bring them up because I would say that SmackDown started off with a good beginning and a good ending, which already puts them in a good place for having a great show. But the stuff that they put in between was very entertaining. And I want to jump right into the Bailey-Bianca obstacle course. Manny, did you enjoy, I'm just going to ask the question, were you shocked when you saw Bianca put Big Otis on her back and move him those feet that she did?
No, because we already know she's the strongest, fastest, bestest.
But on the side of that, you could be the slowest.
Slowest.
I know worstest isn't a word. You could be the sorriest. You can be the weakest. I mean, the EST goes with all those other words as well. I'm just saying.
I'm going to turn to you because sometimes you're the pettiest. And so I think you understand.
No, I feel like you're the pettiest. Manny, given what we saw on the greatest quiz ever, Manny, you are the pettiest man on this channel right now.
For the purposes of my segue, Marcus will be the pettiest right now. Marcus, I feel like you could relate to what Bailey tried to do because I can see you doing something like that where you do the obstacle course, set it up, give yourself a good time, and then pull the big pull the curtain back and show Bianca that it ain't gonna be that easy for you. Did you respect her hustle and try to win this?
Yeah, but you got to go a step further. I feel like Bayley had two. She gave her things she was good at, like hurdles, which you know she can do. She gave her literally hurdles to have to jump in the obstacle course, and she gave her Otis. Otis may have been the trump card. That was the thing. But I'm petty enough that I would have had the rim moving back and forth and give her one of those carny rims that are a little bit wider so you can't make the shot.
I would have made it higher as well.
See,
Yeah.
you guys, clearly, Manny is correct. I am the most pettiest person because I think in this situation, you need to introduce fire. You need to set something on fire, make those hurdles burn.
We have enough fire going on
Nah,
Raw.
man, you got to make it burn. You know. Oh, that could set me up really bad right there. But overall, I really enjoyed this segment. I also enjoyed Bayley just attacking Bianca, but I feel like this has been a solid feud between the two ladies. I think it has a little bit more traction than people might be giving it credit for.
It's better than what's going on in the women's title picture on SmackDown, to be honest.
Yeah, hashtag the Otis turned heel. Because he rode from under that ring or whatever and was like, ha ha! You got to get through me!
How long was Otis in underneath that ring?
I feel like he turned heel in this very moment. Because Chad Gable was understandable. He tweeted, I don't know what he's on. And he's working with Bayley. But Otis had no reason to do this.
Well, since Manny brought it up, I guess we can address the elephant in the room. We have the Carmella Sasha Banks feud that is going on. And, of course, Reginald, the sommelier, got to face Sasha Banks. Now, Manny, you've already voiced your displeasure about what's going on with the Women's Championship belt on SmackDown, so I'll let you go first. What did you not like about
I'm telling you now, if she slapped me like that, I'm telling you now, she's getting a chair to the face.
Whoa, not even heads. Not even heads.
And I'm stomping her face out.
Wow, Manny.
Well, you
and then I'm going to go down the Eric route. I'm going to go backstage, find a husband, and beat him up too.
Well, I mean, first, I thought that Carmella wore the red outfit. I mean, she was representing the Bloods very well in that situation. You know, honestly, I enjoyed this segment more than I should have.
It's so unnecessary.
You casually said, yeah, she was representing the Bloods very nicely. Like,
I mean,
the Bloods.
I need to agree with Chris. Reginald was amazing in this match. I mean, when the announcers described him as being silky smooth, when he slid out the ring, I was like, ooh, did he learn that from Thatcher? Because I remember when he was a little young lad getting beat up by Thatcher, and then he had to be saved by that other guy who's in the Tag Team Classic. But, Marcus, where are we going with this feud? Like, I mean,
I don't care about the feud. The feud isn't with Carmella, it's with Reginald. I want to give Reginald the women's title at this very moment. I mean, he pushed Sasha to the limit. He is now the number one contender. I feel like.
How dare you call him Black Harvey Whippleman? How dare you, sir?
Like, literally, Reginald was a spring. Like, I felt the youth in their athleticism. I was like, wow. I remember when I used to be able to do shit like that.
But let me tell you,
But no, he was athletic as hell, and it was a lot of fun because you didn't expect it to be like that. But the quote Manny, if we have a sanctioned match and I have to fight Sasha Banks, there's no way I can go home and lose that match. Sasha, go get these, Eric. Sorry.
No, I get what you're saying. But
you didn't go with the right strategy. You win some, you lose some, but you live.
But no, the thing about it though is that we all know that WWE has a policy where men and women cannot put hands on each other. So we kind of, when we saw this match going, we expected, like, you know, will be no hands being placed on Sasha by Reginald. I felt Reginald was placing hands. He did a lot without doing much. I enjoyed this version of their match. The problem is that I know Sasha and Carmella don't have the same ability to pull off this match because I said it to Marcus. Reginald should have been in AEW because that boy can flip with the best of them right there. I don't know.
Accurately.
I mean,
so Chris said Marcus used to do backflips. We need videos. That's actually behind a pay window, Chris. So you actually will have to pay to see that, and it costs $2,000.
Go join our Patreon. That's where we need to go. Now,
it's also on Marcus's OnlyFans for $3 a month.
We're not. No,
Hey.
we're not.
No. I'm more expensive than that. It's $20 a month. All I need is $3. I take $60 a month from people. I don't care. I have no shame. I wouldn't do anything. I do backflips.
So one of my favorite individuals on Friday Night Smackdown is my boy Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn actually came out after Roman and Adam and Paul had their situation because he was having a protest. This fool was handcuffed to the side rail, holding up signs as every wrestler walked out, voicing his opinion, just so when the Intercontinental title match happened between Apollo Crews and Big E, he could unhandcuff himself, Haluma kick Crews, Haluma kick Big E, and cause the match to end. I enjoyed this for all the wrong reasons because Sami is one of my favorite characters on SmackDown. And even when he's not in the title picture, he's still in the title picture. Marcus, do you think his crew caught the right angles this week?
I think they got all the good stuff this week. But however, his protest, this was the most convenient protest for everybody ever. Let me go offside, away from the ramp, so you can casually walk down and I can yell at you. And I would just unhandcuff myself. Like, there was nothing in his he could have just waited out into this basketball saying, I'm going to do commentary for this match and interfere and do the exact same thing. The protest was unnecessary. He could have did this at any point in the night.
Well, first it started off as a peaceful protest, so I would have just had him protesting by commentary, so you could hear him every now and again. But yeah. I liked the bit when Cesaro actually came down and then actually like spoke towards him and then pulled the mic away. Like, no one cares what you have to say.
Yes. No, I think he agreed with him or something. It was in French. I think he said something in French.
Yeah, he said he can announce that he's in the Royal Rumble in 5 different languages or something along those lines.
Yeah. There's a little continuity there because they used to be a clique. Eric, go ahead, Eric. I have a question after you talk.
No, go ahead and ask the question, Marcus, because I was just talking about Sami.
What would be your protest? We see many protests in wrestling. We've seen people fill the ring like Daniel Bryan. We've seen people with the one chair say they're not leaving until they get what they want. We've seen Triple H break JR's arm in the ring.
I believe it or not, Marcus.
What is your ideal protest? What is the way to protest in wrestling?
Marcus, I think I'm going the Sami Zayn route of protesting because A, you're in every camera shot when someone comes down the ring. You get to talk and interrupt their intro. You get to be a pass until someone's going to come talk to you. And then I can just imagine like Charlotte is doing her entrance. And then you see production try to convince me to leave and I'm doing a protest. That's what I'm doing. Marcus, as Montez Red Cup says, we know that Marcus' protest is all lives matters, Marcus.
Oh, that was
Oh!
Manny,
you've been beat to the punch. You've been beat to
Way to beat
I should have interrupted you.
So, Manny, since Montez ruined it for you, the Red Cup, what is your form of protest?
Fuck you, Montez. Dare you steal my show?
Wow.
I don't even know anymore. I'm hit with the just red blaze of anger.
Betty's a red cup full of anger. So I'll turn to Marcus. Marcus, since you asked the question, how do you want to protest?
I want to do the combination of the chair and the ring, but I'm also handcuffing myself in the ring, so they can't get me out. And I'm protesting. But this will also probably lead to my ass whooping as I'm saying this out loud.
But Marcus, I'm surprised that you didn't
like how that would work.
I'm surprised you didn't want to put yourself in a cage over the ring and protest and just yell with a
megaphone. I don't know that would get you anywhere.
Yeah,
other than a nosebleed. Other than a nosebleed, I don't know where that would get you.
Yeah.
So
you're just up there. You're going unless I'm throwing my feces down.
No, Mark, this show has had too much poop on it already.
That's the only way that is going to matter if I'm above the ring in a shark cage.
Oh, wait. So wait, are you going to have feces already prepared in a bucket to throw, or are you going to full on drop it?
Betty, why do you need clarification, Betty? Why do you need clarification?
Because this is the type of show we do.
Fresh. I'm going to work it up in my stomach. I can go at any time.
He's going to drink all the powerful juices.
I'm drinking all the juice.
Given that you're juicing, it's just going to rain from the juice.
You know what? I'm stopping this. This is over. I have a question.
100% regular.
I have a question for you guys. I noticed the head of the table gave somebody the night off. There was no main event Uso on this week's SmackDown. Was that a good thing not seeing Jey Uso on the show, Marcus?
I'm curious where he was at. Is it a COVID situation, or did they just take a break from him, or it just doesn't conveniently work with the storyline tonight that he's not here because Roman had no backup? But whatever. Man. I break from main event Uso. He's been getting his ass whooped a lot.
I don't need a break from him getting beaten up. I just needed him just being that wild card in the back. You don't know what the fuck he's gonna say.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Roman needs to punish him for failing last week because he failed. And I think that's one thing I look forward to is when Roman gets his revenge on his cousin. Like, you got to make this right. But he.
So,
didn't.
Eric, do you think he gave him the night off, or did he give him a suspension from the show?
Maybe a suspension for the show with Kevin Owens.
Without pay or with pay?
Without pay, man. I don't know if Jey Uso's been getting paid at all, man.
And locking people out and doing all this. Do you think we're going to get a reveal of him talking one day to one of the McMahons or Triple H or something, talking about, hey, man, I need it this way. And they're like, all right, whatever you want, Roman. You think we're ever going to get that moment?
I don't know.
And if we get it, can it be Linda? Can he be sweet-talking Linda McMahon, who's a relinquish of her duties, and she's free to come back?
Marcus,
have Roman sweet-talking Linda.
Marcus, I'm sorry, but I need to stir the pot. Montez Red Cup has followed, which says, LOL, Manny. I'm just more quick-witted than you. And, Manny, I don't need you to full more rage. I just want you to know that we all support you, and we don't want you to be upset.
Manny, what would to make you more upset about him being quick-witted? He's on a delay.
Wow, he is. So that means, Marcus, wow, you put more fuel into that fire, Marcus. You should be happy.
I ain't nothing but salt in the wound, baby.
Just remember, I can time out people. Just remember that.
Yeah, he does have that power. Speaking of salt in the wound, I'm going to turn to something that I'm only covering it because I don't have the picture because hashtag Billy Kay deserves better. This was the Riot Squad with their opportunity facing Asuka and Charlotte Flair. And I thought I saw a tag that was made, and technically Charlotte or Asuka did not pin the legal person in the match. Did I see
saw
that?
This tag too.
Okay, so technically Billy Kay didn't cost them the match, right?
Well, even when Ruby Riott had that pin, that looked like a 2 count.
It did look like a 2 count.
So my issue was, and if I'm attacking AEW for their tag rules, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan were not following the damn rules of a tag match. They were standing in the middle, nowhere near the tag rope, making tags during the entire match. They were in the middle of the ring, talking about making tags. Their whole tag philosophy was off. Outrageous.
I said it before, but I still think it's strange that she's pairing up with the Riot Squad when the Riot Squad initially were the ones that broke up the Iconics.
But
maybe this is a secret ploy.
The thing is, the Riot Squad need to understand they need Billy Kay because she makes them relevant. I will point out that I was watching SmackDown with Sharpie Wife, and you know what? There's most things she doesn't pay attention to, but some things she does. And Billy Kay was one of them. And when she did the Bianca head swing with her new hairstyle, we both started laughing. Billy Kay needs to be protected at all costs, and I have not recorded a podcast in 8 weeks, and I know Marcus and Manny have been championing protecting Billy Kay at all costs. I join in that support, and I want to protect Billy Kay at all costs. Save her.
Oh, you know, there's a membership fee, Eric.
So I'm willing to pay it to protect Billy Kay at all costs. Damn it, that's what I'm willing to do. That is me. We saw.
Yeah, you told me something in the middle of this match that kind of gave me chills a little bit, but I don't believe this is going to happen. During all of this, and Billy Kay, we also kept cutting to the back to see the boat and Tamina staring on the match. Eric said something. He was like, "Marcus, I believe," and he said with all sincerity, Tamina is about to get gold. She's about to become the tag team champion of the world.
No,
which that's it's gonna happen, and I honestly can see it. They can get it from the fumbling of the Asuka Charlotte breakup, which also brings me to the point I'm a little upset that Asuka was just here casually on the show after getting her ass whooped overall. Just got whooped by Alexa Bliss.
No ill effects of that.
Just kind of walked out, was like, fuck, that was a bad day. That's somebody with a short memory right there.
The last thing I'm going to mention on SmackDown had to be Daniel Bryan with his new haircut. Cesaro covered out, cutting a promo. Marcus, are they teasing us again with a Cesaro push?
It seems like it, but I'm willing to wait until after the Royal Rumble. Because right now, if you're paying attention to SmackDown, of all the people who are claiming they're going to win the Royal Rumble, he does have the most momentum. He is winning and kicking ass at the same time.
You need to stay quiet about that, because if the more we rave about Cesaro, the more they're not going to push him. So everyone needs to back the fuck up and stay quiet about this situation and let it simmer.
Gentlemen,
Actually, they're giving him mic time recently,
I
too.
don't think Cesaro's going to be pushed for the championship against Roman. I think we're on track to have him feud with Big E, because we know from listening to the New Day podcast how they love some Cesaro, and I can imagine Big E versus Cesaro at WrestleMania could be a very entertaining match for the Intercontinental title. Yes, I have eliminated Cruz from winning the title at any point, but you could even do Big E versus Cesaro at Elimination Chamber, and I think it would be something magical.
Do you think Apollo and Roman are done? Or do you think they're still going somewhere with that?
I really hope they do.
I hope they do. I hope he's back in the locker room, like telling him how to take care of his business. But I don't think we're gonna get any more of that.
Because we didn't get any of that this week. I mean, they showed like clips and stuff, but and they talked about it, but we didn't kind of get any of it. So I'm like, was that just a one-off, or are they never going to do that again? I'm really hoping it's not true. It
might be a one and done. Now, gentlemen, I didn't plan on talking about Mr. Hype Beast himself, Dominic Mysterio. Do you guys want to mention this in Corbin? Because I didn't care. This was like the downfall of SmackDown. Or can I move on to the controversial Monday Night Raw?
I'm going to say we can move on with the saying that I didn't hate this match. It was solid. It was what it was.
Marcus, the premise of the match is that, Dominic, you need to listen to me. I'm your father. Dad, you have to let me do it my way. If my way doesn't work, then I'll listen to your way.
Ass whoop. That was the point. I enjoyed that. It made sense.
Yeah, but this is just leading to Dominic turning on his dad, and I don't even need to see that as a feud.
Nice feud. I think it'd be a nice little feud. It would
No, Marcus, because it'd be like two sock puppets talking to each other.
They're gonna let Leah do all the talking.
Well, maybe
she can't talk either.
Well, maybe that is the dream of Rey Mysterio, to fight his son at WrestleMania. I mean, I can see where a father would want to do that.
What's the storyline?
We still spend time on it.
What's the storyline? What's the storyline? I'm not your real dad, Dominic.
Eddie was my daddy.
He started coming out dressed as Eddie. He grows a mustache and everything.
Why does he gotta grow a mustache?
He started wearing the mullet. He's full of Eddie. He started talking about he got that Latino heat. But I enjoyed him getting punched in the face by Baron Corbin. I got the match to be that. To be honest, I wanted that ending just to be the match. Baron Corbin just going pop, and him going, that's it.
But with that being said, I guess the thing that I'm more concerned about, I think Baron Corbin had his wolves, but I don't think he has his wolves no more. I think they took his wolves from him. Because the wolves hasn't been seen for 2 weeks. And usually
the cough.
Oh, you think they got the COVID? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think there's a few people missing because of the COVID. Maybe Jay is out because of the COVID. Bobby Roode wasn't out here this week either.
Yeah. What did you think of the Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler match?
I liked it.
It was a nice little nugget of a match. It was a nice little, they just messing around. They have this little amateur match right here, and they had it. It was like 2 minutes, and it was nice. It was nice. It didn't overstay. It was like, oh, it was nice.
So, Marcus, I'm going to ask you a question. This might be a hard decision for you. What did you enjoy more? The little nugget of a match between Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler, or Otis coming from underneath the ring being the last super challenge for Bianca Belair?
How dare you? I'm leaving. You know what? You questioned me being a wrestling fan and more of an entertainment fan. How dare you? I'm going with Otis coming from under the ring going like, hey, you got to deal with a big fat white man.
He came out there like the final boss.
Now, Manny, for you, I'm going to give you.
He was literally Cooper.
Okay, Manny, you need to choose between Otis coming from underneath the ring or Reginald taking Sasha Banks to the limit.
Reginald lost. You can't get behind a man that loses to a woman like that. Like, you really can't.
You know what?
Like, you know, if he ever when he goes back home to see his boys, they can't look at him ever again.
You know,
I can't look at him in the first place because he's a Somali A.
Somali A.
How many black people know that Somali A is still good with the homies?
Marcus, first of all, most Somali A's probably don't have homies.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
They have Mark. They have acquaintances.
I want to go where he ain't got no black friends no more. It's over.
Man, I'll be a sommelier, man. You got a palate that can match.
You'd be a sommelier.
Man, if I could match wine to your meal, that would be so amazing, sir. I think you would like to have this red wine to go with this excellent steak that you have. I mean,
this is just a cover-up for Carmella to have a slave. I don't know what your point is, sommelier. No, it's a slave.
Hey, I'd rather for him to be a slave for Carmella than be a punching bag slave for Thatcher. Because, you know...
Can I also throw in, can we just team Sasha and Carmella up? I feel like they're just the same person. It's like Sasha can have a sommelier, and I wouldn't call it anything different than Carmella having it.
Who are the two women that became the Impact Tag Team Champions? They are just like knockoff Sasha Bankses.
Oh, the black girls.
Sasha Steele and Kara Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, knockoff Sasha Banks.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
The sad part, there's so many knockoff Sasha Banks, and they're all kind of doing it better than Sasha Banks right now. And then, you know, Sasha Banks used to have that one thing that her opening was done by her cousin Snoop Dogg, and Cody Rhodes and his neck tattoo ruined that for her because now Snoop is on his opening, which makes me sick.
Yes, y'all. I'm a snake, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. I'm burly frog with his neck too, y'all. Like, Snoop Dogg puts minimal effort into these themes over wrestling.
Marcus,
But at least I'm going to give Sasha the up on this one, in which she at least has Snoop Dogg as her cousin rapping on it, and it seems like he cared a little bit more than he did on Cody's, when he just mumbles through the entire rap, because you can't really hear him like, humming, go big show. He doesn't even say that. He don't even say it.
You know what the worst part about that? I like Cody's opening without Snoop. I was like, why are you messing? Because, you know, I would have yelled. But we're not there yet, because that's the.
We have to say reaction.
That's the grand finale. That's what we talk about Wednesday night.
No, I'm the grand finale.
Marcus, you got competition right now, brother. You got competition.
AEW's now the grand finale. How dare they? They're gonna take right back, and now they're taking my name.
I'm gonna say we don't have much to talk about when it comes to Monday Night Raw, because I like to call Monday Night Raw the transformation episode, because it seemed like everybody was transforming into something else. The show started off with a luchador that I was not familiar with.
Don't, Marcus. I know what joke you're about to make. Don't.
Marcus, I would like to hear the joke you're about to make.
I wasn't going to make a joke.
I saw it in your eyes.
The transformation.
I can't find it yet.
The transformation of Randy Orton into a luchador with a old sock luchador mask. Marcus, he was burnt last week. He had to go find this to cover up his face.
Yep.
Were you satisfied with the outcome of the fireball incident from last week with Randy?
Okay, so the only thing I can compare this to is when CM Punk lost his hair versus hair match all those years, or hair versus mask.
Yeah.
Against Rey Mysterio, and he ended up wearing a lucha mask, and I dug that version of CM Punk to Straight Society and wait for them to rip it off. I am just as excited about that as I am about Randy Orton and his mask. I want this to be the definitive Randy Orton of 2021. Like the entire year that he's only the kid from Us, playing with lighters and wearing that mask. Literally, that's all I want him to do. And him and Bliss and Wyatt to join each other and Randy in the lucha mask. I want Randy to be effed up.
I want Randy to rob a bank with that mask.
But I think everybody would know.
This is a stick-up.
I will point out, Randy Orton's nose looked huge in that mask. Maybe because he was in the cup in the front of the camera.
I think it's because they made it look burnt as well.
Or they put that whatever that petroleum jelly that was on there. I'm not really sure. Like
jelly. That's what they use for makeup. Let's just throw some petroleum jelly on there. He's burnt.
I don't know.
I don't know why you couldn't just call it Vaseline, first off.
Because Vaseline is petroleum jelly. If you look at Vaseline, it says petroleum jelly. And Manny, for your information, because Marcus, Ryan, and I didn't have the most money, we didn't have Vaseline growing up. We had petroleum jelly. That's what we had. That's what we had, damn it. Shit.
That's like getting the guy there. It says it right.
Okay, first of all, you got some fancy ass Vaseline because it got aloe in there. Aloe vera. I ain't never seen that before.
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Aloe vera.
Aloe vera. What country ass? What old slave in Costa Rica took over your soul is when you would say aloe vera?
Aloe vera. Manny.
I got some olive oil here.
So I felt like the whole tease of seeing Randy at the beginning of Monday Night Raw with his burnt mask and all that was that we knew some way, somehow, he would get involved in costing Alexa her match down the line. Were you disappointed that Randy never interacted with Alexa?
No, he's currently still a burn victim, Eric. You gotta let him play this off a bit. His face needs to heal.
Yeah, I never got that he was going to interact at any
Yeah, I didn't feel like he was. I felt like that was just a video package, and he wasn't even in the arena.
Well, I felt like that was the hitch to get me to wait for the Alexa Bliss Asuka match, because the thing is, the one thing about Randy's character, he's always about revenge. He's always trying to get revenge. So I figured some way, somehow, Randy was going to get back at Alexa. However, that's not what we got.
No, you weren't supposed to get that. The draw for the main event was Alexa, Eric. It had nothing to do with Randy Orton. That's why they throw Alexa on there like 800 different times on the show. She is the draw.
And I guess, correct, she is the draw, because we started with Alexa's Playhouse, where she had the invisible Fiend on the swing, with Asuka being the guest.
You sure what Bernie Sanders?
Yes,
I feel like that was my fun. I think that was probably one of the funniest ones I saw.
Yep, that was a good one. There were so many.
I mean, the thing about it was, I like Bernie Sanders putting Hurricane in the crossface. I enjoyed that one.
I enjoyed the armbar in the UFC.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That was a good one. Or we'll see. There was another one.
I don't like the one that Jericho.
Friday. I don't like anything Jericho posts. What did he post?
I want to point out Jericho has really soured on a lot of people in this last year. 2020 was the year of Corona, but it was a bad year for Jericho too, because a lot of people turned on him. Me being one of those people. He's worn out his welcome in AEW. But we're not here to talk about AEW. Manny.
You say that 20 times a segment.
Manny, the Alexa Playground to the main event with her and Asuka. I believe I heard on your show you weren't a fan of the transformation. Is that correct?
No, I was.
Okay.
I was. The thing I wasn't a fan of, there was a visible slide in the corner, and neither of them used it to get into the ring. And of all people, I would have thought Asuka would have used it. But then I mentioned on Thursday, it wasn't like a year ago where Asuka was a badass bitch that was just spitting green mist into people's faces, and then all of a sudden during the Alexa's Playhouse, she was afraid. I didn't see that happening, but the transformation was great.
You know, I think the justification of making her seem more powerful was that it's the fact that you go with the character who Asuka is. Asuka is the Empress of Tomorrow. She's a badass. As you can tell, she bounced back on Friday. I mean, she was just caught off guard in the ring on Monday, but on Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, she thought about it. She was like, you know what? That's just Alexa Bliss.
He bounced out of bed like Reginald bounced off rings.
I mean,
woo! Another day. Yes, it is.
So, Marcus, I also remember, I think I heard you say that Alexa does the Fiend better than the Fiend does the Fiend. Do you still stand by that statement since it's now Saturday?
I'm still standing by that statement. Alexa is a better Fiend than the Fiend, as his current stand. Because the whole match, I didn't really care for the whole Alexa Playground thing. I understand what she was doing, but I didn't understand the Asuka part of it. And of course, they didn't use the slide, damn it. Asuka could have set up on that slide and then dipped out. Anyway, the match, the transformation was really nice, and then the no selling, and then the defense, because the Fiend just takes the hits. Alexa with the counters. I like the counters. And
I like the way she was just dodging them, though. She was dodging them like the Matrix. It was just like, nope.
Yeah.
I felt like Alexa.
She's ahead of her.
I felt like Alexa getting superpowers makes her a better wrestler because now she doesn't have to wrestle as much, which is great. Now, the one thing I would like
the first part when she was wrestling. The first half she was wrestling. She wasn't that bad.
No, she's okay. Now,
I gotta watch the week. She's all
I've already said that she's above Sasha Banks because Alexa Bliss is in the men's division.
Yep. Just like it was a trade. Reginald for Alexa Bliss for the men's.
With that being said, the one thing I can say that WWE does get right all the time, that's their opening montage celebrating the life of Dr. King. I would say that they really stepped up, and I think they added new footage, and I really enjoyed what they did. Now, with that being said, they went on to disrespect this footage by making us sit through a New Day-less Xavier Woods going against Mace of Retribution, which is a match that no one should be forced to see, even during Dr. King's birthday or Black History Month. Marcus, I know you are a supporter of these individuals, Marcus, but can you support this match? Can you support this match, saying that Woods versus Mace was what needed to be shown, and then also the only highlight that they showed from the match was the interaction between Xavier Woods and Mustafa Ali. Marcus, I don't understand why we got this match.
It's trash. This is trash. For those who didn't hear it, I'm going to say it again as Ryan said it out loud. And you have to say it. Xavier Woods shouldn't do anything by himself. As an example, he couldn't even do Paige by himself. It's a simple fact. It is a simple fact. He needs to be with somebody. And with the point of Mace being in there, he also needs somebody. This match was trash. Mace is terrible. And I don't care if it was Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, or Kazuchika Okada in the ring with Mace. There was no way you were getting anything better than what Woods got out of that. It was a disaster. Absolute disaster. Catastrophe. And what was the more catastrophe is you dubbing this the Martin Luther King Classic.
Oh, no.
You really did that disservice because none of us were thinking that.
It's not the Martin Luther King Classic.
And this is what you get on a Saturday show, me being inappropriate and dubbing things that should not be dubbed. But I have more, so stay tuned, Manny. What about you? Mace and Xavier Woods.
Much like his song, this did not make me feel so good.
He's a bad boy.
And that's all I've got to say about that.
So, as we all know, Dr. King was about unity. He wanted everybody to get along. He wanted people to.
Really know Friday Night Martin Luther King.
Marcus, don't mess up my theme right now, baby. I'm on the road. So Dr. King wanted to bring everybody together. However, WWE wants to continue to ruin Black and brown relations by putting the Hurt Business against the Lucha House Party. But then on top of that, we have even more dissension within the Hurt Business with Cedric Alexander acting the goddamn fool. Manny, who's right? Is MVP right for not trying to... Wait, I'm sorry. Is Cedric right for just being a damn fool? Or does MVP need to take control of his young gun that he has in his Hurt
MVP
Business?
needs to take control. Cedric's acting like Scrappy-Doo. He was the one that was added to the Scooby-Doo bunch. No one really liked him at the beginning, which is what with basically Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I'm getting to this analogy of Scooby-Doo.
I was like, where is he going? Where is he going?
But Scrappy-Doo is always the one looking for scraps, running into danger, just like Cedric, and everyone needed to dial him back.
Get him. Sorry.
Yeah, they need to get him in line.
Marcus, I think Bobby Lashley represented the black man so much in this match because he just was fed up with this shit. He ended the match.
The roof.
Just got there, was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. This match is over.
Eric, I remember this was the Martin Luther King Classic, by the way. About working together and equality. And Bobby went with that any means necessary Malcolm X finish. I'm still in the match. We had no time for this shit. So, I thought you froze.
No, I did not freeze.
For a second. On my end, you guys froze. I was like, oh, shit.
Okay.
But, yeah.
With that, that's all we're going to talk about with Raw. But before we...
You ain't going to talk about Elias?
No.
Are we not doing Jackson Riker the Martin Luther King Classic?
No, I'm not going to do that, Marcus, because right now I'm going to segue into something else. I'm not going to go exactly into the Wednesday Night Wars. We're going to go through the dead man, Undertaker, was on a podcast. I believe it was the Joe Rogan podcast. And if I was a very good producer, I would have the audio. But I will paraphrase. And,
I like how he said, if I was.
If I was.
I was.
Manny, I know who I am in this situation. And I'm not that man. But,
ladies and gentlemen, he had 8 weeks to prepare for this show.
Manny, I can't prepare. I didn't know the future, so I didn't know what was going to happen this week. So
he also has said that he cares about the audio listeners. Audio listeners, this is what he's doing for you too.
He's doing it to all of us. He's an abusive host. An abusive host. On Valentine's Day, he wouldn't give you flowers and candy.
I wouldn't, because I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I refuse to celebrate that day. F that day. With that being said, Undertaker pretty much said that there's a bunch of bitches in the locker room. There ain't no real men in the locker room. All they do is play video games and worry about looking pretty. Marcus, are you back the old school ways where they walked in the locker room with guns and knives and ready to cut somebody, or are you in the generation of playing video games and looking pretty?
Well, I believe Woods and Cedric both chimed in on this, and they both said
black men that would say something on that one.
They both was to chime in to say pretty much the right thing. I think Cedric was like, "I'm happy being healthy, young and healthy," or something like that, and gonna live a full life. And pretty. And then Woods was saying like, "Oh, it's so much better to have video games than the other stuff redacted, which is basically drugs in the locker room." But you know what? I'm going to take the controversial take and agree with Undertaker, though. I think that there's some part of it in which, they are playing video games. I don't mind people playing video games, but I think the pretty side of it, in which more people do care about the way they look than the in-ring product. That's what I'm going to say. That they're not going balls to the wall. That they're not grown-ass men fighting each other to the death. They don't look like they're tough guys. Everybody kind of look like kids.
So, Manny, I'm going to turn to you. I'm going to see, do you agree with El Luchador in his comment? Fuck Taker on that bullshit, or do you side with Marcus with hey?
I'm in between.
I will be in between, but I think Xavier needs to shut his mouth because he's currently wrestling by himself, and he's gonna get caught out, and we're gonna realize
the King Classic that was not a classic.
We're gonna realize that he's kind of trash, and Vince might just turn that switch of like, I'm done with New Day and I'm done with Xavier. Take your G4 ass and get the fuck out.
Oh no, he's not gonna let that G4 money go. He ain't gonna let that G4 money go.
Vince don't have no. You think Vince get a
Marcus, let me tell you something, Marcus.
Money? And that G4 money ain't really there.
Marcus, if that man
Marcus,
if that man can get a cut of OnlyFans money, Patreon money, and all these other money, I'm pretty sure he got some G4 money cut too. Come on, man. Man, did you finish your point?
Oh, I just feel like, yeah, they are going to end up living long, but it's just like longer. But I just like, where's the edge to half of these guys? Because they all just seem the same.
Let me honestly say this, and this is with all due respect to Undertaker and all due respect to Xavier Woods. Guess what? This shit happens every generation where that other man generation says, man, these men are soft. So although Undertaker grew up in the generation where they came in with knives and guns, if you look at the Harley Race generation, they was probably like, man, look at these bitches in here just being all pretty and stuff. Like the same thing that Taker said about the new generation was said about Taker's generation, and I think this will continue to go on. Go ahead.
Isn't it like the take of Austin a few years back where he said, if you're not here for to be the WWE champion, why are you here? And I think also Woods had a statement about that. But like Woods was like, oh, I just want to make friends. I'm like, this is why you're in the position you were in.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing about professional wrestling. I think you have some wrestlers that want to be the John Cena, the Roman Reigns, the marquee name. And there's other people who just want to collect the paycheck. And then there's other people who claim they want to be a star, but then they leave the company claiming to look stardom, and then next thing you know, they become best men at people's weddings. I'm just saying, things like this happen. Like, you just
I feel like you're talking about somebody personal.
I'm not talking about anybody personal. I've been saying that sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. And
can I also say, like to chime in what you said about every generation's complaint. Every generation says it's about anything. I do this at work. I call the current generation soft. You don't know how we had it. We had to train ourselves back in the day. From the ground up. Now you got these trainers that train you. So, bullshit. And even in the NBA, where you have Shaq ripping people because he's like, back in my generation, you do it. Or in the Michael Jordan days, we used to kill people on the basketball court. It didn't make the game great.
So, Marcus, El Luchador says, Vince don't let people get over. Do you think that is a reason why, I guess it's so much more focused on video games and being pretty in the locker room instead of because Vince is who he is?
Well, I'm done blaming Vince on why people don't get over or not. If you're going to get over, you're going to get over. A star always finds a way, in my opinion. to become a star in any avenue. I can't just blame one man for why we don't have another great big wrestling star, especially when there's an AEW Impact and all these other avenues. If you're going to be a huge mega star in wrestling, you're going to be a huge mega star in wrestling. The people will get behind you and believe your shit. Even if you're doing bullshit. They got behind Dusty Rhodes and he was doing bullshit with Sapphire and polka dots.
I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm bringing all the hate out because I have never seen El Luchador be this potty mouth. I mean, he also threw in a fuck Barkley. Manny has his hand up. Yes, Manny.
So I just want to point out, so Vince doesn't think people get over, but I want to bring it back to when Zack Ryder got himself over, and I believe they were right to stop that in its tracks, because when you look at him now, he was never going to get to that elevated star that he thought he was going to get to. So I think Vince has an eye for talent, and he can see where people's ceilings were, and Zack Ryder's ceiling was never above any championship.
Oh shit.
Hey, you know, Vince McMahon failed off. Oh, what are you gonna say?
My monitor is being delivered. I gotta have Shante go get that.
So, you know, people blame Vince or give him credit for it. I don't give him credit for any creation of any stars or the holding back of any stars. He wants money. He wants to win. It's not his plan to do it. He just fucks up every now and then. Sometimes they are his fault when he makes a mistake, but sometimes he gets it right. Like with Ryback. Like, he didn't give Ryback the belt. You got Ryback who's like, this is bullshit, it's a prop. And he's going around, he's talking about Mark Henry back and forth.
Bring up Ryan Reeves, Marcus. How you bring up Ryan Reeves?
Hold on. And now he's talking about he signed with AEW, the WWE competition, he's going to kill him in the Ravens. No one cares about anything what Ryback is doing or is saying. Ryback was trash, and everybody's called him trash since then. So, you know, we're not, so there's always a reason for people not getting pushed. And I'm done caring. If you're going to get over, you'll find other ways to get over. If not, find a different avenue somewhere else.
Manny, you were going to say something, I believe?
No.
Oh, okay. Now, my thing about it is, and I said this, like the people that Vince hasn't pushed and the people who have left, who has done great since he left? Like,
oh man, take a discussion.
I just
Sting! It's Sting!
He hasn't done great.
But Sting was Sting before he got to Vince. I mean,
Eric, that was a joke. That wasn't for you to jump on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I missed the humor on that one. I shall now transition into NXT because NXT.
You transition a lot on this show.
I'm a transitioning show, man. I have to get back. So NXT, Marcus.
Now on cue.
NXT came back, Marcus, and honestly, NXT disappointed me. Just nothing was. I don't know. Just didn't. It didn't set that stage for me personally. I mean,
what stage were you looking for?
Mark, well, so the thing is, going into it, I was looking at the Dusty Classic, and I was like, oh, man, these are easy matches to pick. And then they decided to go the route and let's surprise us and give us all these upsets. Like, the first upset that took place was that Leon Ruff and Kushida defeated Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano, a.k.a. The Way. Manny, I turn to you. Were you happy that Ruff and Kushida got this win?
Yeah, I could see it. I feel like that one was more storyline based. The other two kind of annoyed me more than this one.
Yeah, this one makes sense because you get Kushida pinning in, and then you got a reason for Gargano to cost him the Dusty Cup, and then you have a reason for them to fight for the North American title at the TakeOver. That all makes sense to me.
No, I think the biggest problem...
I was fine with it. It was a good match.
I think the biggest problem with this entire tournament, and I think you said it last week on one of the shows that I appeared on you with, is that it is a tournament with a bunch of makeshift tag teams, and it has no meaning to it. The only tag team, I think there's only 2 tag teams, or maybe 3, in the tournament that are actual tag teams. That's GYV, you have Legado del Fantasma, and the Lucha House Party. I think everybody else decided just to...
MSK, Breezango were in it.
Hold on. Undisputed Era. Hold on. Have you seen Round 2's bracket?
Everrise.
Have you seen Round 2's bracket?
I have.
Round 2 bracket looks amazing. It looks amazing. It's an amazing celebration. Killian Dane and they're a tag team as well. I just wanted to bring them up. And Drake Maverick. But I'm saying, Round 2 of the Dusty Classic looked like it's going to be some amazing tag team wrestling. There's some amazing matches put together. Now that Thatcher and Ciampa are together, they're fighting the Undisputed Era this week. Like, stuff like that is all together. It's like, oh, wow. This bracket really filled out. The women's, I don't know where they're going with. But the men's, I'm like, it's all together.
I'm still a little bit more intrigued with the women because they got Kai and Gonzalez in there. But Marcus,
they're gonna win.
Now
you don't know. It's upset season.
It is upset season, Marcus. Now I'm going to you with another question because shortly after Kushida and Ruff won the match, we had another match where it was Karrion Kross going against Ashanti Adonis. We were going to get an update on Adonis, but she got interrupted when she was giving the update. But apparently he's not going to be in the tournament anymore. But Marcus, my question for you
They've been replaced. They're replaced. It's over.
Has Karrion Kross lost steam? Because I don't feel the same momentum that he once had before the injury.
Yeah, well, he got injured, and he had the match with Keith Lee wasn't too good. It wasn't good at all, pretty much. Maybe because of the injury, who knows? And then he has his next match with Priest, which was kind of a dud. So, yeah, he has nothing going for him right now. He's just kind of walking around, talking about he's a champ, TikTok and all that. He has to really do something and go to a real feud, and he needs to go after that title.
I don't think even in this standpoint he could beat Finn. No. When you look at the type of matches him and O'Reilly have been having, he can't beat in the state he's in. He can't beat Finn.
And the thing about for me, unfortunately, I felt that his match that he had with Damian Priest really said, you know what, he ain't the guy that I thought he was, and it sucks that he got hurt, but I think his injury was probably the worst thing that could have happened for his momentum in his career. Now, if we're talking about momentum,
sometimes that works though, right?
Sometimes
like
it works.
Someone gets hurt, and you're like, oh, you know what? It's good to think went away, but in the middle of your push, it seems like that's a bad deal. But I think he needs to continue to stay in NXT a little bit because I can see him being a Vince guy going like, call that motherfucker up.
So,
he got the girl, he got the size. Call him up, but he needs to stay there.
Marcus, you were extremely modulated of whatever you're saying right there.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think you froze. Your internet is tripping.
Well, all I said was I can see Vince calling him up, and he's not ready. He needs to stay in NXT a little bit to work on some stuff, probably.
I would agree. Now, Manny, you brought up MSK earlier.
I did.
And
I did.
It doesn't matter. This question is for Manny because this is a very important question for Manny. This is when I saw it happen on NXT. The first person I thought of was Manny, and I was like, Manny, I can't wait to see how he responds to this question. As you know, we got a package of MSK. I guess kind of letting us know who MSK is. However, in that package, they had a certain individual featured in that package, and it was Ember Moon giving her stamp of approval to MSK. And Manny, I asked you this question. If
Stamp of death, Eric! Stamp of death!
That's exactly how I felt. So, Manny, I'm assuming of all the people to give MSK an endorsement, was Ember Moon the right choice in this situation?
Nope, they weren't. The person that should have given them the stamp of approval was Matt Riddle, but they completely missed on that.
They should have had Van Dam, Matt Riddle, some bunch of old stoner characters just talking about, yep, this is the truth right here. Ember Moon didn't need to talk. I didn't need Ember Moon in this segment. I was like, what? She got to do anything?
I mean, the only thing Ember Moon reminded me of is that they really wasted that debut on Ember Moon when it could have been Toni Storm. Did you see the shirt Toni Storm had on this week when she was backstage with Mercedes Martinez? I bet that she had all the lines.
That shirt.
Huh?
No, damn the shirt. It was the sunglasses.
The sunglasses, the shirt, and then she had the Cactus Jack food. She was styling and profiling in her own type of way. But
the sunglasses was everything. Spikes in the sunglasses? I don't know how she saw them motherfuckers.
I still will stay with Manny on this situation because I believe miracles can happen. Manny, the KC Express defeated Toni Storm.
No, pause, Eric. No, pause, Eric. Io Shirai defeated Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez.
Manny, I don't care if Io played a role. When the record books are looked at in history on this day, and when Manny produces his second annual quiz, one of the questions was, who defeated Tony Storm and Mercedes Martinez. And that
And
answer,
you know what you would do? You'd get it wrong.
I would get it wrong. But right now, I know it's the KC Express. Manny, did you celebrate and enjoy that Kaden Carter got that illustrious win? And maybe when she was shucking and jiving, she knew last week that they were going to win.
Because the only Filipino on that damn brand I care about now is Shotzi Blackheart, and she's damn well making mistakes with Ember Moon.
The Filipino connection is falling apart for Manny. With all his wrestlers, they're all disassociated. My pick for
wait, before you go, Marcus, if anyone's ruining black and brown relations, it's Ember Moon.
I mean, with this upset with the KC Express, I honestly, them cutting another promo being so excited, there's part of me I think they may win this thing.
You never know, man.
But I haven't looked at the bracket. I don't know where they fall. But I have Shotzi and Ember in the finals against whoever. Because I got Raquel and Dakota breaking up.
The way won on 205 Live.
Huh? Yeah. But I don't know who's on what side of the brackets or whatnot. But I can see the KC Express winning their side of the bracket. Because I can see Raquel and Dakota breaking up somehow. And the way could just lose.
The way. For me, NXT, like I said, was just it was a show that was there. And, and they needed the fight pit to save the show. But before we got to the fight pit, the one thing I did enjoy of NXT this week, and I know it might be something only I would enjoy, it was Michael Bivens and Tyler Russ. I love a manager, a handler, trying to get the job done. And then Tyler Russ decided to go to the locker room and speak to William Regal and put himself in a situation that clearly Bivens did not want him to be in. And he was disgusted. Yeah. And he said, well, just make it work. Marcus, is Bivens right now, just his interaction with Russ, one of the best managers in the game? Because he was giving him positive reinforcement, man.
He's got to leave. He's got to leave Russ. Russ is making two mistakes. Nobody said, I'm saying for match, you get Bronson Reed. That is not the direction they're going in. You will lose to him. You need to fight a Marco Stunt or I can't think of any jobbers on NXT, to be honest.
The guy that was part of Thatcher's Academy. You go fight him. I can't remember his name. That's not Reginald. But he saved Reginald.
I forgot that dude's name too. He was in the tag team.
What? Austin Gray.
Yeah, Austin Gray.
August Gray or whatever.
Or guess who else is available? Denzel DeJournette. He's available too. This is who you go after.
No. His name's Desmond Troy now. Leave him alone.
Let's not call him Denzel DeJournette. Don't put that on him.
Even though that name was a better name than Desmond Troy.
Yes.
Can I tell you something?
What?
Kurt Stallion and Santos Escobar was the worst segment of the week of wrestling. Because I was like, what is this?
I'm not going to lie.
It was a Two Alive storyline because I had no idea who was out there.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that was a young Heath Slater when it came out.
I'm not going to lie either. I enjoyed Santos Escobar, and I was like, is that the guy that I liked in AEW that they signed? Because I had no idea who the hell Kurt Stallion was.
It's not Ben Carter. Carter is Ben Carter and got to keep his name Ben Carter as in NXT UK.
Marcus, I could not remember the man's name. I just knew he was white and he had hair. That's all I remembered. I was like, is this the guy? But needless to say, I look forward to seeing where Rust and Bivens go because I wish Michael Bivens would get better people that he managed, but whatever. I mean, Michael Bivens was BBD. But now we go to the fight pit. It happened. Marcus, did you enjoy the fight pit?
What?
The what?
The fight pit. What were you about to, you enjoy the famine?
Yes.
The fat pit.
The fat pit, yeah. Where fat people win.
Fat pit?
Yes.
It's just a buffet, and everybody got to try to go. Who comes out there alive with all their limbs? No. For the fight pit, it was I thought it was disappointing compared to the previous one with Riddle and Thatcher. I thought they spent too much time in the first half up on the type of the scaffold. Because I was like, why is that even a thing? Why are they starting this? Like, it was a scaffold match if it started, and then it ended in the fight pit. But, the second half was solid. It ended fine. I was happy Thatcher got the win. Now
I don't understand why they removed the door from the first fight pit.
Yeah. Change the fight pit?
I thought the problem with the fight pit was that they put us in a situation that I knew that Ciampa couldn't take a bump to go off the scalpeling. Like, like the commercial, we go back from commercial and they're in the middle of the fight pit, fighting. It's like
picture. It was the picture, Eric.
Oh, you saw how they got down? Because I didn't see how they got down.
They got down. They just climbed down right before the commercial break.
Oh, well, it didn't have the same magic. I thought the Riddle versus Thatcher feud felt more authentic than what Ciampa and Thatcher are trying to give off with each other. And it just, I think being on the scaffolding was just too much for me personally.
I don't think Ciampa is that angry enough to be in the fight pit.
Exactly.
Or like Thatcher can hold his own in the fight pit.
Yeah. I think the physicality, the technical work wasn't there. Like, I think Riddle has a better ground game and a more physical style than Thatcher, and knows how to make a fight look legit because of his MMA background. And I don't think Ciampa had that, and that's what hurt the match the most.
I mean, so the chat room is going crazy. Chris says NXT was good, Eric was off. Montez says Eric is off, NXT was passable and better than AEW. Now this is where I agree with Montez. Like, I'm not saying that this show.
Eric, nobody should agree with Montez.
Manny, just because you guys have beef right now, I don't have beef with the man. NXT was a show it happened. There was nothing on there to make me mad or upset, but there was also nothing on there to say, damn, I'm glad I saw this show. So when I finished watching NXT, and it was the first show that I watched, I said, wow, AEW is fighting at an advantage right here. If they can just do a half-ass solid show, I would give them the victory of the Wednesday Night War. I was ready to let AEW get to that, to ascend. And then they couldn't even do that, man. They couldn't do
So wait,
that.
this week you were hoping for AEW to succeed.
I said, in my head, I was like, shit, I'm in trouble. This is my first week back doing the audio show, and I'm known as the AEW hater, and it's a possibility AEW Dynamite will beat NXT, in my opinion, and justify the numbers that they got in ratings. And I really thought that they had an opportunity to accomplish that goal, because I said, on paper, it didn't look like they could mess this up. But they messed it up.
So this is where the NBA analogy I'm coming with right now this week. To me, AEW this week were the Brooklyn Nets coming in with all their stars and everything that come along with it, all the hoopla. Kyrie Irving back in the lineup.
Preach, brother. Preach. Let them preach, brother. Preach.
And then when they all got together, they lost to the Cavs. And then you go, you know what? They need to work some shit out. They'll get them the next time because they're going to play them the next day or whatever. They come back the next day and they lose again. Like, why? Why? How are you losing to the Cavs and giving up 147 points? You have your worst game ever. Like, that's not what's supposed to happen today. It's not what's supposed to happen today. AEW had a shit show. It was the worst nationally televised wrestling show I've ever seen in my life.
And I'll tell you, I didn't even count the first segment because even me, being the hater that I am, I will not talk about -1 celebrating his birthday.
I will.
Oh, Marcus said some wild shit on Thursday.
Well, Marcus, what wild shit did you say, Mark? Huh?
I'm saying I understand Brody died. I understand that. And you want to make his son comfort and all that. But, we're a month into this. If they're going to keep using this kid as some type of exploitative fashion, I feel like that's where we're at. We're at exploitation. So every time there's some type of milestone in the Brody family or the John Hubbard family, and they go bring him out there every single week and start advertising him, then I'm already sick of it. Because I didn't need the birthday celebration because they just used it to show me Serpentico and fucking Luther.
Why does Luther need to be on the show? Luther should be on AEW Dark repeatedly.
They shouldn't be in the company. Like, I just want them to. They have to stop. They have to stop at one point. I don't want it to become too much, and you go like, this is. They're just doing this for the fans now, and just like I don't need to see him hit another person with a kendo stick or throw paper. I don't need to see this kid for another 10 years when he decides to become a wrestler or something.
No, it was just a sloppy.
That's personal. I know I'm a bad person.
No, Marcus. Honestly, because you're speaking facts. It was just a sloppy transition into a match. Like, I mean, like I'm sitting here, and I need to respect that the kid just lost his father, and I understand that. We're gonna have a birthday celebration, but then we're gonna go to something that happened on AEW Dark where he called Luther a name. I can't remember what name he called him, but Luther is upset. And then next thing you know, he comes out there trying to crash the party, and then it turns into a multiple team match that has TH2 teaming with Luther and Serpentico. I can't even say his name. Going against
Serpentico. Serpentico. Not Serpico. Not Serendipity. Serpentico.
And then
you're worse than a Filipino with F and P's. You've just changed the whole letter system by removing a P with a T.
Well, honestly, I'll just show up and just go eat some Jollibee if that's the case. I don't even care, man.
Oh, wow. Like
that's
that, yeah?
racist.
What? The spaghetti and Frank's is one of the most weirdest things ever, but it wasn't that bad.
You're a racist. How dare you?
But with that being said...
Don't eat your KFC and shut up.
With that being said, like, afterwards, the Dark Order and Adam Page wins, and then, like, I guess it's like the marriage proposal, and I guess John Silver has his purpose of being entertaining to a certain audience, and then, like, Page is like, no, but they have all that he said, yes, it's like this celebration. I'm like, what are we doing here? What?
Wait a minute. You go shit on this set. This was an okay segment of him asking him to join the Dark Order. That's the only thing about this show I think I like, was him asking him and him assuming he was going to say yes and them having that full celebration with those Dark Order guys being sent back to the back by the only time I actually liked Stu Grayson. That made me like Stu Grayson by sending those guys to the back. Because that was a full-blown celebration that was happening, and he did not know it. I enjoyed that segment, other than the fact I thought he should have joined. But with that being said, I don't know why you shouldn't have that much hate.
No, I just didn't care for it. Manny, what about you? Did the opening segment, the celebration, the proposal? Did you like it?
They need to stop using grief as a poor attempt at like a ratings boost. They should have let the kid celebrate his birthday on his at home. I know his father just died, but like you shouldn't be like exposing him to that kind of stuff so early. And but yeah, I agree with Marcus. The actual forcing of the celebration was funny. I mean, but I do feel like Adam Page should have joined. He's doing nothing.
He's doing absolutely anything, but he does have a logical explanation of why he didn't join. He hasn't had much luck with teams, so
it makes sense.
I guess where he's coming from. That's probably, you know what, you gentlemen, you guys have talked about it. This was an okay segment. Maybe because what I disliked about the segment, I can't hate on because it sounds very evil, and that's why I was trying to pick on something that I shouldn't pick on. But I do have something else I can pick on, and that is the Sting Darby Allin segment.
Hold on, Aaron. You can't just do a Sting segment without going, it's Sting!
Sting! Gotta be Sting!
It's Sting! In the Raptors!
I don't even have words to describe this awkward moment of Sting saying, I think I see something in you, Darby, that reminds me of something. I'm like, I don't care. Manny,
Sting has said this 800 times already because he showed up on 9,000 Dynamites since his debut.
Manny, did you care?
No, and what's more, I don't care about the match they're going to have at Revolution. Do not care.
I don't care if it's street style and then it's dirty style. I don't care about Team Taz and Hobbs looking stupid and Hobbs being upset because Vince McMahon didn't want him when he tried out. Guess what, Hobbs? I don't want you either. I mean, it's just. Marcus, did you like this segment?
So I hated the segment for the simple fact that they're doing the same thing every week with Sting, and they're advertising. Like, literally, the advertising for Sting this week. Sting congratulates Darby Allin. I feel like he did that already, and they were coming out there, and Taz had his stuff to say about the street fight. But honestly, Darby Allin don't need Sting. You saw what Brian Cage did to him. The man can survive anything. You gonna take it to the streets? What's the difference? You better shoot him, because I think he'll kick out on one. It's useless. And Sting is 61 years old. Get out of wrestling.
Retire already.
Jesus Christ. The Undertaker retired. They retired Ric Flair. You need to sit your ass down.
Seth Rollins did you a solid. You should have stayed home.
Wow. You guys are awful right here because Ric Flair is still showing up. Ric Flair is bunking Lacey Evans, people.
Yeah. You know what? He's doing what an old man who's retired from wrestling's doing. He's sleeping with younger women that are married and have kids. And ruining their lives.
Okay.
And his family life. That's what Sting needs to go home and do. Now, I understand them having Sting and him hanging out with Darby. That's fine. But I don't need to see them every week. They have shocked their load with Sting. He is on Dynamite every week. It's no longer special.
Okay. With that, speaking of not being special, we went and we cut to going to Kenny Omega's house, where Don Callis invited the Young Bucks.
I was going to say, speaking of shooting their load, we went to Kenny Omega's house.
No, I'm just not going to. And for some reason, Marvis was at the house, and they had all this footage, and there's a part of me that liked this segment, but I also felt that it went too long. I mean, I think why is Nick Jackson, or is it Matt Jackson is the dark hair one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Matt Jackson's the one that dresses like a mom ready to pick up their kids.
And Matt is he's extremely angry. The line that he took at Impact was hilarious. I've heard about their checks before. This is probably not good anyway. I mean, the whole thing about the camera being placed there and them attacking Don is like, I get where they're going, but like, do we really care if the Young Bucks beat up Don Callis? Like, do we care about the Young Bucks and the Elite not being together, Manny?
No, but I kind of wanted to see them do that to Don Callis. Just like when they super kicked who was it? When they super kicked Marvis.
Yes.
Like, there's stuff you need to see. Just like when HBK super kicked a child. I need to see that stuff.
So I mean, at this point though, it's like it's where we're at, where we kind of know that the Young Bucks did not do that to Callis. He did not. He probably beat himself up, but he's trying to accuse the Young Bucks. Kenny showing up in his Cat Daddy suit with his boots on, talking about he's ready to get whoever did this to Don. Marcus, did you like it?
No. How you like that? Okay, Since you didn't let me talk about it.
So we had an interesting discussion on the Manny and Marcus show.
Do it to you to talk about it, damn it.
Where Marcus was talking about driving shoe. What would be worse, driving a shoe with your hands into someone's eye, or kicking someone in the eye?
I think kicking him in the eye.
What would be more effective?
Kicking him in the eye. What the point?
Nah. So Maurice agreed with me that you would get more torque if you drove that shoe into someone.
So, Eric, here's the question. They got me around on this one. What was more painful? Seth Rollins grabbing Rey Mysterio's eye and popping it out like a soda bottle on the steel steps, or Jericho stabbing Dean Ambrose in the eye with the key? What seems worse? It caused more pain and conflict over time.
Jericho
spike from his jacket.
Marcus, yes, from the spike. I'm going with the spike from the jacket.
Gargano did the key, okay? Gargano did the key.
I still think the spike from the jacket.
No, but I mean the kicking, or so you think the spike, the one little prick, like that hurt more than this is painful. This is torture. It's like being waterboarded.
The slow one would hurt more.
Honestly, I just put it this way. I don't want it to happen.
We had this conversation last week. And we were talking about how the needles and go into your mouth and how you couldn't see it. You're not gonna be able to see the grinding as it slowly comes in.
Was that on the show? Was that on the show or was that off air?
I don't know what it was, but you guys are sick.
Like 7 hours.
You guys are sick and morbid. That's all I gotta say. I don't want either one, but you might be right. The steel step might be worse. I'm just saying I don't want either one to happen. But it's not worse. No,
I don't want either one. I'm just saying if you were a gangster and you need to take somebody out and show them something, are you grinding? You taking up your boot, grinding the eye, or are you kicking them in the eye repeatedly?
Nah, I'm shooting hot fire into the eye. That's what I'm doing. I'm burning the eye out.
But fuck Matt Jackson, by the way, to return back to this segment.
Yes, Marcus.
He's
also,
the actor in wrestling.
And Marcus, also, this is where the painting debuted. Marcus, did you like the oil painting?
I enjoyed everything about this segment but Matt Jackson. Everything worked. Everything worked. If Matt Jackson was there and you put Marty Jannetty there or anybody else.
Marty Jannetty.
Yeah. matter segment. Matt Jackson's acting is terrible. It's so over the top. It's ridiculous. It just takes you out of it. The painting was hilarious. That they had that painting together. The fact that he set him up and put the camera there, that made it look like they attacked him, which they probably did anyway. It's believable to say. But all that's great, but it all doesn't make sense when TK, your boy, books a match between the Good Brothers and the Bucks teaming together to take on Mox or some. I forgot who they're fighting.
At Beach Blast. Beach Blast. For me, honestly, I knew AEW had no chance of beating NXT when I saw this next match on the card. There is no way in any world that I need to see pretty, I can't even get it out, pretty Peter Avalon go against Cody.
That's your boy.
That he had so much distaste about this. He sent this to me in an Instagram message earlier in the week.
Yes.
Right.
like this is a match that no one needs. Now, with that being said, I guess Cody had promised that he was going to defeat Peter Avalon in a minute. So he lands the crossroads, but then Jade Cargill comes out for this was just so convoluted. Then she comes out, Cody doesn't get to beat him in a minute, and then we proceed to have one of the most WWE style matches that went on too long.
It's just a shitty match.
It just went on too long. I was like, I don't care if Avalon was on a winning streak. Just no. Stop. Not for me. Right, Marcus? No, this was for nobody.
Yes. It should have ended in the first 2 seconds. And I'm going to put, this should have been a squash match. I'll put this with the other squash match of the former WWE star fighting a no-name talent whatsoever, with Jon Moxley fighting
Nick Komoroto. Nick Komoroto.
Was this the All Lives Matters alternative to Sasha Banks versus Reginald?
Maybe it was.
I'm going to give the better squash match to Mox because it was longer. They had the commercial break, which I thought was unnecessary. Because every time they do this, they have a squash match they started. They go to commercial, come back, and then they end the match 1 minute after. And I'm like, what was the point of that? Except for Cody, who wanted to have like an hour with Peter Avalon.
But Marcus, the reason why this squash match with Moxley wins is because Nick Komoroto looked like a better wrestler. There's nobody in Peter Avalon. No.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the caveman looking guy.
Yes, the caveman looking dude. That's Nick Komoroto.
I called him Riker without the racism.
You don't know that though yet.
So, Manny, I called him Eugene without mental health issues. That's what he looked like to me.
No, it is. I called him Berserker from Wish. That was it. You guys already won.
But yeah,
so,
I thought the mock squash was better than this one.
But they both went on too long. They both went on too long.
They did.
Mox went on with a choke. I don't even know why he's having this match.
Me neither. He can't because he had to cut his promo. I don't know why he had to cut his promo.
Just cut the promo.
Yeah, we didn't need to have the match. I didn't need his promo. But it's also like how we're getting Jungle Boy versus Dax Harwood next week. Like, why couldn't his partner take this? I just don't know what's going on with AEW, man. I just don't know. But they win every week. Why they keep winning? All they do is win, no matter what.
Eric, you gotta just think when you watch it. You just gotta think of it like you're watching Raw, and then it just makes it feel like, oh yeah, this is okay.
No, but see, at least Raw.
It's not the.
No, at least Raw gave me the beginning because I thought Randy was gonna interfere with Alexa, and that's what I was holding on to. Like SmackDown also gave me the beginning of Paul Heyman versus Adam Pierce, and I know that's gonna close out the show. The closing for the show for this was the Inner Circle and their tag team match, which surprisingly, the wrestling I did not hate. I thought
What? This match was all over the place.
It was all over the place. But Manny, compared to what I was dealing with Nick Komoroto, Peter Avalon, and Cody, this was like, to me, it just justified why I feel like Sammy Guevara and Pride and Powerful need to be taken away from the Inner Circle as quick as possible because Jericho is trying to keep his life Life Force alive, and he almost killed himself, and he would have did us all a favor when he missed that lion salt with this match. I'm just saying.
You're talking about being morbid.
Huh? Marcus, he needs to go, Marcus.
It's a neck injury for Chris Jericho in his 50s.
That neck injury could have also led to paralysis, so that's way more worse than what we would say.
He affected the entire locker room with COVID. I'm just saying, you know what? It's a point when all good things come to an end. For the first year of AEW, he was the best thing that was going for it. Now he's the worst thing, and he needs to stop. Marcus looks like he disagrees with me, so I'm going to go to Manny first.
Wait. So conspiracy theory, Eric. Do you think Chris Jericho killed Brody Lee?
Well, they have not came out. They said, according to Brody Lee's wife, COVID was not the culprit for his death. He had some type of lung condition. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a possibility that Chris Jericho could be the one that's responsible for it. But I'm not going to sit here and spread rumors like that.
We'd get clickbait.
We would. Who really killed Brody Lee? And also, we'll get a lot of hate, too.
Who really killed Brody Lee? Check out that click. Down click.
I'm changing the title to the show, Nick, later. Who really killed Brody Lee?
Nah, I'm not about that life.
Let's go down that rabbit hole. QAnon. I got nothing else better to do since we didn't work the first time. Let's go talk about Brody Lee.
So
I'll get a whole Netflix special about it.
I wasn't ready to talk about the main event yet, but Marcus, what was your opinion on the main event?
You jumped to the main event.
I did.
It was trash, and it was no reason for me to care what was happening in the ring. I don't care who's the dominant tag team of the Inner Circle. I don't care about the Inner Circle. They have ruined this faction since they started to MJ. They have ruined MJF. They have ruined. Wardlow needs to separate himself from them so he can become a man.
Yeah, how is he still like holding the ring for MJF?
He's a better wrestler than MJF.
I mean, the thing about it, for the whole thing for me, where it's just really convoluted. We're having the main event where the Inner Circle are fighting over who's going to pursue the tag team gold in AEW. At the end of the day, AEW has a little thing called rankings. And it's called tag team rankings. And those matter according to the spiel that AEW gives us. And none of those teams that were fighting in the main event are even in the rankings. I think maybe Pride and Powerful was in there.
Eric, you're missing the point of argument about the rankings. If you want to argue AEW about their rankings, Eric, they're having a tag team battle royal to determine the number one contenders.
I know, Mark. I know they're having that also.
And one of their tag teams is also competing for the Impact Tag Team title. So what the fuck does your titles mean to me if I can become the Impact Wrestling Tag Team champion?
You know what? Montez might be right. This match was awful. This was the cherry of a cake made of poop. He might be right. Yeah. You know, I have changed my position.
This episode ever of AEW.
Well, but you know, we still have more poop to talk about because I accidentally jumped to the main event. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the 6-man tag that took place that still makes absolutely no sense.
There's 30 on the show.
Huh?
Which one? There's 30 on this show.
It was Matt Sydal teaming up with Top Flight to go against Matt Hardy in the Private Party.
Why did this happen?
I don't know who asked for this match. Who asked for the match between Top? Were they fighting who could be the black tag team?
Not only that, Eric. Who asked for the Private Party to turn heel? Nobody cared.
That's what I was about to jump in. That's what I was gonna say. No one asked for this. This was the stupidest. I'm going to give you a story on the Private Party. They come in, they beat the Young Bucks. They do nothing for months. Matt Hardy decides to be their mentor. They do more nothing. Matt Hardy goes and fights Sammy Guevara. They're doing nothing. Then Matt Hardy decides to turn something to Matt 3 weeks ago, by the way. Screwed him over in their contract to their face in front of Snoop Dogg. They seem to be happy with that. They come back to next week. They're unhappy with it. This week, they come back. Now they're cheating and they're best friends with Matt Hardy. What the fuck is this storyline or this team or what's the story they're trying to... You can't tell me they're booking for long term because that's all I hear the AEW fan base say. They're looking long term. They are not. They're booking just like Vince, week to week, minute to minute. And this is the stupidest heel turn ever. And I don't understand why this makes sense. Don't understand. And what the fuck happened to the Acclaim?
and to add to that, Mark Quinn has bitch tits.
Yeah, he has to work.
Okay, I'm just curious. Were you guys just hateful on Thursday?
No, this simmered.
Okay. Well,
this stayed overnight. This is the leftovers. You know how the leftovers are always better when you keep it in the fridge and you go back and like, damn, that was some good ass food.
so you know,
It was better the next day.
that's probably why we got this one dislike. But I'm about to add more to the one dislike.
I don't care. Just like again.
Wait,
Just
Marcus.
like again. Just like these nuts.
Marcus, so you know how I talked about how the AEW announcing team tried to hype up Pretty P. Ravelock? But my favorite don't believe the hype moment was when they decided they needed to hype up legit Layla Hirsch as she was fighting Penelope Ford with Miro, Kip Sabian, and Charles Taylor at the ring with
segment
with Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy in the audience. Now, there's so many things that went wrong with this match.
Can I jump in and say one thing when I cut you off?
Go ahead.
You know, I thought when we got to the main event, I was about to go in my head. You know, this show went that bad. And then remind me of the private party and then all the stuff in between there. I go, oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right.
I could talk about Layla Hirsch right here, but I want to talk about how this match concluded. The match concluded with not even caring about the match. It's Miro in the ring making Charles Taylor tell Orange Cassidy that he is now Miro's best friend.
About the finish.
Huh?
You're talking about the finish.
Yeah,
the match didn't matter.
The match didn't matter, Marcus.
No, the finish was trash.
Marcus,
the finish was trash. They fucked up that ending. In which they were talking, they were criticizing. Oh, this Penelope. They were like, oh, Kip Sabian pushed the rope. He pulled Layla Hirsch's foot onto the rope just so he could throw it off. Because they were too far from the rope. That's how bad this match was.
Layla Hirsch is 4'11". How?
Yeah, I don't know who came up with the spot. You put their foot on the rope, but her little feet could not reach the rope, and Kissam had to put it on the rope to throw it off. And even Jerry said, I don't know what the hell just happened.
Manny,
how's that a win?
Why is Marcus focusing on this? Because what we need to focus is on the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, Marcus, is that Miro.
He's going to elevate the women's division, and he wants to make a better women's division. This is not it. This is not it.
Marcus, Miro, the whole purpose of this was to tell Orange Cassidy that Charles Taylor has a new best friend. This could have all been avoided if Orange Cassidy never came out to watch Layla Hirsch versus Penelope Ford. Why was he out there? Why did he come to ringside? Why didn't he just walk away? If he would have walked away, it would never happen. He could never tell him that, you know what, you're not my friend. Why was he so hurt? Why do we care? It's like, I guess it's a story, but it's a story I just don't care about. And then we go backstage and we see Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows beating up Penta. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Why is Pentagon getting beat up?
Eric, I just want to point out one thing that came up in the mid-card mess that made me more angrier than anything that happened on this show.
What?
AEW, the quote is, AEW storytelling is getting better.
Manny, I saw that, and I was like, what stories are getting better in my opinion? I was extremely confused about that statement. I don't know where that was coming from.
I went, oh. Is that where we're going with this? Like, no, the storytelling is worse. Like, the only thing they were successful at doing on this show at all tonight was Kenny grinding his boot into Pentagon's eye, which led to the conversation, what works better, a kick or a grind? That painting, and Hangman Page saying no to the Dark Order. That was it. Everything else, they failed to execute. I do not know what the purpose of the show. It did not make me want to see more. And then they advertise stuff for the next show, and that they're going to have another women's tournament to determine who the number one contender is for their women's title. When they have their goddamn rankings, why is there going to be a women's tournament? Goddamn them!
Well, I just want to point out one thing for the podcast listeners. Marcus, I feel like, has cancelled me and him already by photoshopping our faces on top of that painting. And I woke up that morning seeing that first. I hadn't even watched AEW. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Man. Damn, dog. I'm sorry that you had to wake up to that.
I didn't think about it in that context. That one, he hasn't seen it. Two, he isn't awake. Two, he probably has no idea what this is.
And I'm just thinking, this is going to affect both me and Marcus' future employment because this is on the internet now. And then I was like, we better make it. You better like, and you better subscribe. You better buy some merch because we're never working again.
Yeah, but you know what, Manny? We've incorporated that picture in a lot of other things in which the Mid-Card Mess, when somebody was talking about starting a Mid-Card Mess podcast and using the name, and then Manny chimed in, we're the unofficial Manny and Morgan Show, the unofficial podcast of the Mid-Card Mess, and then I posted a picture of us in the painting again.
Wow.
Good time.
Wow. I mean, the thing about it, though, I do have something I want to share Marcus designed that won't mess up my employment. Hopefully, it's going to pop up on the screen. I think this is the best thing.
It's a weird time to put this up.
I think that's the way, Marcus. Me, Bernie, Paul Heyman, me being the champion, also proving the fact that I am the head of the table. This is the greatest thing ever. Marcus, I'm glad you finally understood where you fell in
You're
line.
the head of the table on this show. That's for this show.
Yeah, because the other idea was to put your head on top of the table where Trump was sitting at a tiny table.
I would have appreciated that one also. That's just that to me is
Honestly, the original plan was to swap your face with Bernie and put you on the AEW show, but I couldn't get a good angle of anything.
Manny, let me tell you something.
I had you with the birthday cake and chose not to do it.
The little moment of him at that little table might have been the best thing of his whole presidency. Just right then and there. That was it. And gentlemen, we have concluded our show. We have talked about all the wrestling that we needed to talk about, and there's no listener feedback. But you guys,
I feel like for the last 30 minutes, we haven't talked about any wrestling.
We talked. Wow. You guys can remedy the situation of us having no email by sending us an email at the Sharpshooters. That's DA Sharp. You know what? I forgot. I actually have a button for this. Boom, here it is. The Sharpshooters. Like, look at the force. There it is. The Sharpshooters at gmail.com. Because I'm in the woods.
If you send in an email next week, we want you to answer me and Marcus's question that we had off air. Is if you were given the vaccine, what shitty power would you like to come from it? It can't be a good power. It has to be something that would inconvenience you or someone else.
With that being said, since we have concluded talking about professional wrestling,
that question.
Well, because I'll wait till we get emails and we can talk about it, because I think we have more pressing matters to talk about. Tonight, there's a big fight. You have Conor McGregor making his return to the octagon to fight, I think, I can't say the last name. I think his first name is Daniel.
Why are we even talking about this?
Because I want to know who you picking. Who you picking?
Conor.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Conor.
With that being said, now it's time to move on to Sunday night, where it's really big. It's the battle of the NFL to get to the Super Bowl.
From experience, or are you just suggesting it's really big?
It's big. We're having the AFC Championship game. We have the quarterback of Josh Allen going against possibly Patrick Mahomes if he passes protocol. Manny,
he's passed. He's passed.
So they say. My favorite thing about them is
he's playing. Damn it!
My favorite thing is that they were just like, we're just gonna move the game. We've moved every other game because of COVID. Let's move it into Patrick Mahomes Hill.
Who was that guy that was saying that? Was it Cowherd?
I think it was Cowherd. It was Colin Cowherd.
Yeah. Where he was just like, let's move the game. I don't think it's right. I was like, fuck off, mate.
But Manny, at the same time, hold on. El Luchador chimed in. He would get uncontrollable farting powers if he took the vaccine, and it would backfire. That sounds like something that would be awful.
You're the only one that can smell it. You have uncontrollable farts, but you're the only one that can smell it, and it's terrible.
What about bad breath that only you can smell and taste? Nothing you can do, no matter gum you can take, you just have bad breath for the rest of your life. That would be awful.
Well, should we save our ones for next week, or should we just say them now?
We're ABW. We might as well just do whatever the hell we want to do right now.
Well, mine was the extended fingernails, in which they slowly grow. They slowly grow, and they can do minimum damage to people just like normal nails, but they're a bitch to cut back again. They really don't do much.
Marcus,
and I'm just here just growing my nails.
Marcus, let me tell you something. You talk about the damage that it does to other people, but I'm thinking about the damage it's gonna do to yourself with your juicing. When you wiping your ass, you just gonna cut up your booty hole with your fingernails. Like my booty hole.
Oh, it's growing. No, not when I'm wiping my ass.
Then you gonna get poop underneath those nails. It's gonna be awful. I had to bring it back around, poop. Manny, what was your side effect superpower?
Mine was just to float, not fly, float.
Like,
And,
is it uncontrollable? Like you're sitting at a desk and next thing, oh, well, Manny's floating again.
Yeah, but like also, if I was like inside a car, the car would start to float with me. And then, like, if a gust of wind would hit, I would just fly away.
You know what? I think for me, flowing earwax. Just like you could just be sitting someplace and then earwax just start floating out your ear like a river, like just.
You the earwax, man?
It's our power.
That's just poor hygiene.
You can't control, because the earwax, because you know what earwax is actually for. It's to prevent things from getting in. So, like, you can be earwax man. Hey, Waxy, seal up this exit.
Hey, Waxy.
Waxy's like, I got it, coach.
I got it,
coach. So, back to NFL.
So wax,
I forgot Manny suggested one in which you were the glowing man, in which you could glow in the dark, but it's a very dark color and it's useless. It's just you glow.
Waxy.
It's like a dark purple. Like, here I am, guys.
So, Manny,
Well,
are you taking Josh Allen or Mahomes?
Never bet against Mahomes.
All right. Marcus, are you taking Josh Allen or Mahomes?
I got the upset. I'm going with the Bills beat the Chiefs.
First of all, Marcus, I can't respect you as a regular member of the crew. We don't pick the Bills on this channel. We don't pick the Bills.
I'm picking the Bills because they got how am I not pick the Bills?
You can pick the Bills all the way up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl and do what the Bills do, and that's lose in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's going to happen.
That might be
Tom
fair.
Brady has to beat somebody, and it's going to be the Bills.
Although, do you think Mahomes has had practice at any point this week?
Marcus.
Practice Wednesday.
Wait.
Tom Brady's not winning. Tom Brady is not winning. I'm not picking
Did you hear what he said, Manny? He said Tom Brady has to beat Buffalo, which means that Marcus is picking against his own favorite team of the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Honestly,
I was thinking about just Brady winning another Super Bowl, and I thought about Tom Brady, but I meant to say Aaron Rodgers had to beat somebody.
This is not the first time Marcus has slipped up and picked Tom Brady in this situation. Earlier this week, I asked him the same question, and he picked Tom Brady unknowingly again. I think deep down in his heart, he doesn't feel like Aaron Rodgers has a chance of defeating Tom Brady.
No, we have the best chance. We have the better team, and Antonio Brown's out. We have the better chance.
Antonio Brown don't mean shit.
Shut up. You shut up. All right, you shut your stupid hairy mouth. We are going.
Hairy mouth.
Yes, we are going to.
Is that your second secret power?
I got a hairy mouth.
Waxman Harry. I have wax in my ear and I have a hairy mouth.
I gotta shave 3 times a week because my mouth gets so hairy. Like my tongue even grow hair. It's terrible. It's a terrible power. I choke in my sleep.
So Marcus, you're picking Aaron Rodgers, but you know Tom Brady's gonna win.
Yes, picking Aaron Rodgers. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers. Tom Brady is not going to win.
Manny, are you taking Tom Brady or are you taking Aaron Rodgers?
For a man that has hated Tom Brady for a decade.
That's it? I feel like dude's been there 20 years. He got 2. He got 2 decades of hatred.
Marcus, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers because I feel Aaron Rodgers is being disrespected because people keep trying to change what the qualification to be a great quarterback is. First they say you didn't win no Super Bowl, so you're not a great quarterback. Then he's only won 1 Super Bowl, so he can't be as great as other people. I don't like the double standard that Aaron Rodgers gets. I think Aaron Rodgers is the man, and I think he will win and go on to the Super Bowl. Marcus knows by me picking Aaron Rodgers, I have solidified his death in this situation. And Tom Brady is probably going to win this game.
Well, you did. Yeah. I was like, you did pick the Browns, and I was like, nope, they won. I mean, they lost.
Also, farewell wishes to Kiki, from the Dodgers.
What? Kiki Hernandez.
He decided to go take his talents to Boston. He took his talent to Boston. Yeah.
He don't know how to get the show just like we do, man.
Also, shout out to the motherfucker in Michigan who stole my money. That was my money, honey. And just because.
Do you think the Jets are going to trade for Deshaun Watson?
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody is saying. I mean, I would do it. I mean, why
because
couldn't you do it?
the new coach hasn't like stood behind Donald, so like I'm presuming he's going to take him.
Did you guys hear the new coach from the Lions? I think his name is Don Campbell, who said after we get knocked down like the fourth time, we're gonna bite their kneecaps off, and it was just so his quote. I don't have it exactly. He says that the Detroit Lions, we've been knocked down a lot, but we're gonna show them that we're resilient because this city's resilient. So when they knock us down, we're gonna smile at their face. We're gonna get back up. When they knock us down again, we're going to kick them in their smiling mouth. When they knock us down again, we're going to bite their kneecaps off. When they knock us down again, we're going to bite the other kneecaps up because we're going to show them that we're going to keep getting up. And at the end of the day, if you keep getting knocked down that much, you might just need to stay down. I'm sorry. If the person who got messed up kneecaps, got kicked in the mouth, is still knocking you down, you need to quit. You need to quit.
When you're talking about kneecaps, it's like mafia hits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, assassination.
Manny, Montez is trying to make up with you right now. He says you are the strongest person on this podcast. The Jets are trash.
That's like a backhanded compliment, though.
It kind of is. I don't even know what that means, but hey, you guys probably made.
So you're hanging around.
Well, with that being said, I think this has been an enjoyable 2 hours that I've returned into. I can't even get it right. Podcasting.
Casting.
Gentlemen, I think it's only right that I throw it to our sponsor again and let the Sharpie wife read Go Red uninterrupted.
Wait, so you you didn't do the second one?
You didn't even do the second one.
There's a second one?
No, but she could have opened and you could have closed it.
Oh, you're right. I could have did that, but I didn't. You guys just want me to read.
We had to do it. I mean, I don't see why you can't read. And do you put an image up over us, or is it
did.
just?
We really appreciate it. What more can you say? When people love what we do and we love what we do, we love to feel the love.
What?
Manny, I honestly don't know what that means.
I don't know, but I feel like you should be on some local radio station saying that every night after you play some songs for people in jail. Every night you say that fucking song, say that, and everybody goes, "The fuck is he talking about?"
That was just like on when we recorded the gentleman's discussion, and the Disman said he's feeling 10 toes down, and I had no clue what he meant.
Anyway, thanks to the Sharpie wife for doing the read for our ad. We hope you guys enjoyed this show. Once again, if you need to email us, the sharpshooters@gmail.com for any type of sponsoring activities. If you're unable to watch this show on YouTube, you can also subscribe to our audio show, which is this episode is being recorded. That is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now Amazon Music, which is a great place to go. And I believe we are part of some other network too, that I got an email that said our show was in there. And I was like, I guess Manny or Marcus signed up for that network, but maybe it was just spam. But I'm glad I didn't click the link because it was just spam. But with that being said, I'm Eric.
Oh, I'm Lord Manny. Hey, hey!
And I'm Marcus, the grand finale.
And until next Saturday, peace.